For years, the luxury watch market looked unstoppable. Prices exploded, waiting lists became ridiculous, and collectors treated stainless steel sports watches like stock portfolios. Everyone wanted the same handful of models, the same hyped brands, the same safe investments. But while the crowd rushed toward the obvious choices, something strange started happening underneath the surface. These are the watches sitting in dealer windows too long. The models collectors ignore because they aren't trendy on social media. The pieces overshadowed by hype, memes, and resale madness. Yet many of them offer extraordinary craftsmanship, serious heritage, limited production numbers, and long-term upside that most buyers completely fail to notice. Number 8. Rolex Milgauss. The Rolex Milgauss is one of the most fascinating and underrated watches ever created by the legendary Swiss manufacturer. Unlike the flashy fame of the Submariner or Daytona, the Milgauss was designed with a very different purpose in mind. Introduced in 1956, the watch was built specifically for scientists, engineers, and professionals who worked around powerful electromagnetic fields. At the time, magnetic interference was a serious problem for mechanical watches because it could disrupt accuracy and damage the movement. Rolex responded with an innovative solution, a watch capable of resisting magnetic fields up to 1000 Gauss. In fact, the name Milgauss comes from the French word mille, meaning 1000, combined with Gauss, the unit used to measure magnetic fields. The Milgauss quickly became associated with scientific innovation and intellectual prestige. It was famously worn by researchers working at CERN, the European Particle Physics Laboratory, where strong magnetic fields were part of everyday operations. To protect the movement, Rolex engineered a soft iron Faraday cage inside the case, shielding the mechanism from magnetic interference. This was a groundbreaking achievement during the mid-20th century and demonstrated Rolex's commitment to technical innovation rather than just luxury styling. Visually, the Milgauss also stands apart from almost every other Rolex model. One of its most recognizable features is the lightning bolt-shaped seconds hand, a playful design element that symbolizes electricity and scientific energy. Many versions also feature a green sapphire crystal, something Rolex developed exclusively for the Milgauss and not used on most other models. The combination of the green crystal, bold orange accents, and unique seconds hand gives the watch a personality unlike the conservative aesthetics typically associated with Rolex. For years, the Milgauss remained a niche. Number 7. Omega Speedmaster 57. The Omega Speedmaster 57 is a remarkable tribute to the original Speedmaster that first appeared in 1957, long before the collection became famous as the Moonwalked. While modern Speedmasters are strongly connected to space exploration and NASA history, the Speedmaster 57 focuses more on vintage elegance, classic motorsport inspiration, and refined everyday luxury. It blends retro design with modern watchmaking technology, creating a timepiece that feels both nostalgic and contemporary at the same time. The original 1957 Speedmaster was created as a racing chronograph rather than a space watch. It introduced several design features that would later become legendary, including the tachymeter bezel positioned outside the dial. This allowed drivers and racing enthusiasts to calculate speed more easily during competitions. The modern Speedmaster 57 pays homage to that heritage by maintaining the vintage proportions, symmetrical case shape, and classic dial layout that collectors admire so much. Its broad arrow hands, clean hour markers, and brushed steel surfaces all echo the spirit of the original model from the late 1950s. One of the most attractive aspects of the Speedmaster 57 is its balanced design. Unlike the standard Moonwalked, which often leans heavily into its NASA identity, the 57 version feels more refined and versatile. It has a slimmer profile, smoother case lines, and a more luxurious overall appearance. This makes it ideal for people who want the iconic Speedmaster look but prefer something more understated and elegant for daily wear. The watch pairs equally well with a suit, casual clothing, or even sporty attire. giving it tremendous versatility. Modern Speedmasters 50s. Number 6. Jaeger Le Coultre Polaris. The Jaeger Le Coultre Polaris is one of the most refined luxury sports watches in modern horology, combining elegance with craftsmanship with adventurous design. Inspired by the legendary Memovox Polaris diving watch from 1968, the modern Polaris collection represents a perfect balance between vintage heritage and contemporary sophistication. While many luxury sports watches focus purely on ruggedness or aggressive styling, the Polaris takes a more elegant approach, offering versatility, technical excellence, and understated luxury in a single package. The original Memovox Polaris was designed for professional divers and became famous for its mechanical alarm function, which could alert divers underwater. It was an innovative concept during the 1960s and showcased Jaeger Le Coultre's reputation for technical creativity. Decades later, the modern Polaris collection carries forward that adventurous spirit while evolving into a broader family of luxury sports watches suitable for daily wear, travel, and formal occasions alike. One of the defining features of the Polaris is its beautifully detailed dial. Jaeger Le Coultre is known for exceptional finishing, and the Polaris demonstrates this expertise perfectly. Many models feature layered dials with multiple textures, including sunray brushing, grain surfaces, and polished details that create incredible depth under changing light. The result is a watch that constantly shifts in appearance depending on the angle and environment, giving it a sophisticated visual personality that feels far more artistic than many competing sports watches. The case design is equally impressive. The Polaris typically features smooth curves, sharp plugs, and a balanced profile that allows the watch to sit comfortably on the wrist. Unlike Number 5. Grand Seiko White Birch. The Grand Seiko White Birch is widely regarded as one of the most beautiful and technically impressive watches ever created by the Japanese luxury manufacturer. Officially known for its textured dial inspired by the white birch forests near Grand Seiko Shinshu Studio in Japan, the White Birch perfectly captures the brand's philosophy of blending nature, craftsmanship, and precision into a single timepiece. Unlike many luxury watches that focus purely on status or flashy design, the White Birch emphasizes artistry, subtle detail, and mechanical excellence. At first glance, the most striking feature of the watch is its extraordinary dial. The textured surface resembles the bark patterns found in white birch trees, creating a layered, organic appearance that changes dramatically under different lighting conditions. This unique design gives the watch incredible visual depth and makes the dial feel almost alive. Grand Seiko is famous for creating nature-inspired dials, but the White Birch elevated that concept to another level and quickly became one of the brand's most celebrated creations. The craftsmanship behind the watch is equally remarkable. Grand Seiko uses its signature Zarachu polishing technique to create razor-sharp edges and distortion-free mirror finishes across the case and hands. This finishing method gives the watch a level of refinement that rivals some of Number 4. Cartier Santos Medium. The Cartier Santos Medium is one of the most iconic and elegant and luxury watches ever created, representing over a century of timeless design and innovation. Originally introduced in 1904, the Santos was designed by Louis Cartier for Brazilian aviator Alberto Santos Dumont, who needed a practical watch he could read while flying. At a time when pocket watches dominated the world, the Santos became one of the very first purpose-built wristwatches for men, making it a landmark in watchmaking history. Today, the Santos Medium continues that legacy by combining classic aesthetics with modern comfort and sophistication. What makes the Santos instantly recognizable is its square case design with exposed screws on the bezel. This industrial-inspired look was revolutionary when the watch first appeared and remains one of the defining features of the collection. Unlike many round luxury watches that follow traditional styling, the Santos stands out with its geometric shape and clean symmetry. The visible screws, polished surfaces, and balanced proportions give the watch a bold identity while still maintaining the elegance Cartier is famous for. The medium version is especially admired because of its perfect proportions. It offers a refined and versatile size that works comfortably on a wide range of wrists without feeling oversized or too delicate. In an era where many luxury watches have become excessively large, the Santos Medium feels sophisticated and timeless. Its slim profile and curved case also allow it to sit comfortably on the wrist, making it an excellent everyday luxury watch. The dial design is another major reason collectors love the Santos. Cartier's signature Roman numerals, railroad minute track, and blued steel hands create a look that is instantly associated with the brand. The simplicity. Number 3. Zenith Chronomost Original. The Zenith Chronomost Original is one of the most historically important and technically impressive chronographs in modern watchmaking. It represents the evolution of Zenith's legendary El Primero movement, which was introduced in 1969 and became one of the world's first automatic chronograph calibers for collectors and enthusiasts. The Chronomost Original is much more than a luxury watch. It is a celebration of mechanical innovation, precision engineering, and timeless vintage design. The watch takes heavy inspiration from the original Zenith 386, a model that helped define the appearance of modern chronographs during the late 1960s. The Chronomost Original carefully preserves many of the design elements that made the A386 so iconic, including the round stainless steel case, pump-style pushers, sloping lugs, and the instantly recognizable tricolor subdials. These overlapping blue, gray, and silver counters have become one of Zenith's most famous visual signatures and immediately distinguish the watch from competing chronographs. One of the greatest strengths of the Chronomost Original is its balanced vintage aesthetic. While many modern watches inspired by historical models become oversized or overly aggressive, Zenith stayed remarkably faithful to the proportions of the original design. The watch. Number 2. Breguet Marine. The Breguet Marine is one of the most sophisticated luxury sports watches in high-end horology, blending centuries of watchmaking heritage with modern nautical elegance. Unlike many sports watches that focus mainly on ruggedness or bold styling, the Breguet Marine combines technical craftsmanship, refined finishing, and maritime inspiration in a way that feels both luxurious and deeply historical. It reflects the legacy of Abraham Louis Breguet, one of the most influential watchmakers in history, whose inventions shaped much of modern mechanical watchmaking. The Marine collection draws inspiration from Breguet's historical connection to naval chronometry. In the early 19th century, Abraham Louis Breguet was appointed official chronometer maker to the French Royal Navy. Accurate marine timekeeping was essential for navigation during that era, and Breguet's precision instruments became highly respected for their reliability and engineering excellence. The modern Marine collection honors that maritime heritage while transforming it into a contemporary luxury sports watch designed for everyday wear. One of the defining characteristics of the Breguet Marine is its extraordinary level of finishing. Few watch brands can match Breguet when it comes to decorative craftsmanship. The dials often feature hand-gilded patterns, a traditional engraving technique that creates intricate geometric textures across the surface. These patterns interact beautifully with light, giving the watch exceptional visual depth and elegance. Combined with Roman numerals, blued hands, and polished details, the Marine dial feels artistic and unmistakably luxurious. The case design of the Marine is also unique within the sports watch category. It maintains sporty proportions and durability while incorporating refined details rarely seen on traditional tool watches. The fluted case. Number 1. Rolex Air King. The Rolex Air King is one of the most unique and historically significant watches in the Rolex lineup, combining aviation heritage with sporty modern design. Originally introduced in the 1940s, the Air King was created to honor Royal Air Force pilots who served during World War II. At a time when aviation represented courage, innovation, and technological progress, Rolex wanted to create a watch that captured the spirit of flight and precision and navigation. Over the decades, the Air King evolved into one of the brand's most distinctive and unconventional models, appreciated by collectors who prefer individuality over mainstream luxury trends. Like famous Rolex models such as the Submariner or Daytona, The Air King has always occupied a different position within the collection. It was never designed primarily as a diving tool or racing chronograph. Instead, it focused on simplicity, legibility, and aviation-inspired functionality. Early Air King models featured clean dials and modest case sizes, giving them an understated elegance that appealed to professionals and enthusiasts alike. These vintage versions are now highly collectible because of their historical importance and timeless styling. Modern Air King models, however, introduced a much bolder personality. Rolex redesigned the watch with a larger oyster case, stronger crown guards, and a highly distinctive dial inspired by cockpit instruments. The dial combines large minute numerals with prominent Arabic-hour markers, creating a look unlike almost any other Rolex. The bright green Rolex logo and yellow crown symbol add additional personality, making the Air King one of the most visually recognizable watches in the brand's catalog. Some collectors initially found the design unusual, but over time,